welcome back to Find Your Alpha podcast. I'm your host, Buki, and today we are talking building networks, building connection, building community, and engagement with the one and only Seju Alero Mike of Osengwa, is
Yes,
it?
Osengwa.
Osengwa. She is, I would say, like a community builder, a community engager. And she's also an artist manager as well. She's been building communities of photographers and creative people for years. And it's awesome to have her sit with us on set. So welcome to Find Your Alpha podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So what is Osengwa?
So, Osengwa is a platform which focuses really on creating immersive Neo-African experiences. And we do this via our digital platform, art consulting services, and live curated events. Also, overnight stays in West Africa. We have a space in Accra in which I've kind of converted it into a living gallery experience.
Right.
And actually, right now we have photography featured in the space. So we have two photographers who are Accra-based photographers who have their work showing in the space.
Live in gallery experience.
Yeah.
So people book
Yeah.
to stay there overnight, and that's why I guess it's called overnight.
Yes, exactly. So essentially what happened was I've been with Osengwa. Osengwa started as a platform in which I was really just curating artwork and curating digital art, really, primarily photography and sharing. And it was really a space for me to share work that I thought was beautiful that was coming from the continent. I built Osengwa while I was living stateside in the US. And I just wanted to share stuff that Osengwa means it's beautiful in Ishekiri.
Okay.
So it was literally a space for me to show people stuff that I thought was beautiful of African origin and my eye. And it kind of grew in followership. Now we have about 150,000 followers on social. And it became, quite a community of art appreciators as well as creatives themselves. So I decided to kind of move that from the digital experience into the
Physical
real life,
experience.
tangible experience. And this is how the live-in gallery experience kind of came
Well,
to
that's
life.
really interesting. It's not a concept that I've heard of before, but is it something that's new, or is it something that you just sort of innovated and said, look, let's let's try this out?
Honestly, it just happened because it was an organic moment. I acquired the space, and I thought I have bare walls. Whenever I have bare walls, I want to show something. I want to show something beautiful, and I thought I have artists. They need a space to show their work, and
Yeah.
it gives me an opportunity to tell a different story. So the space is in Accra. And I thought it would be great to feature work by photographers who are in Accra to kind of introduce the idea and the concept of, the exhibition we have on show right now is called The First Home is Freedom.
Okay.
And since it was my home that I was opening up to people, I thought that made sense. And with Accra, the idea of freedom being in Ghana, there are lots of complexities right now in terms of living and existing in that space.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be great to see what the creatives who live there feel about their community and their experience, and what better way to show that than through photography. I love photography because it captures a moment in time. And it's a magical way of telling stories. You can always go back to something that has happened years ago, and you can now with technology envision what will happen in the future. So it was natural.
Yeah. So you started off Osengwa as like a hobby type of thing. I'm just, trying to find people who are like minds, or like me, who like creativity, who like photography. And now it's become this really big platform and a community of people across the world. What are the three biggest things you've learned from building this space, this platform, and the community, and the community building and engagement that you've done? What are the three top things that you've learned?
Three top things. Ooh. I know I'm gonna leave this conversation and be like, I should have said this, I should have said that, I should have said
Okay,
this.
I wouldn't
I'll
limit
go with
you, but tell
I'll
me.
go with the three that come to mind in the moment. So the first thing for me is if you build it, they will come. I had no idea when I set out on this journey. Like you said, it was a passion project, really, because at the time I was working full-time in corporate finance. So this was the thing that I did in my early mornings and at night. And then it became my graduate thesis when I went back to grad school. But really, the idea was just to show people something that I thought was beautiful, and I just put it out there. And
Right.
the community came organically because in just sharing my form of expression and just sharing what was inside of me and what I connected with, I found that there were others who also connected with the same, and they came. And this is how we grew organically in this way. So I'll say if you build it, they will come. So if you're seeking community in some way, if you're seeking people who share an identity with you or who share a hobby or who share, it doesn't matter, they share an ideology that you do. If you can't find that space already to sit in, to join, then build it and create something that allows people come to you. So that's the first. The second is you never know what it's going to become. You have to stay
I like
flexible.
that.
You have to stay flexible. You have to stay open, and you have to listen to your audience, listen to your community. So the ways in which Osengwa has evolved has really been me seeing, like, especially with returning back to Lagos, right, coming home to Nigeria, and being in active community with the creatives who are here. I've learned of all these different ways that they were using the platform that I had no idea about. You know, I would sit with someone and I thought, because Osengwa gave me the opportunity to hide behind something for a while, so a lot of people didn't know who I was, and I would be able to go into experiences and just engage with folks. And then I would introduce myself and I would mention the platform, and I would realize, oh, all these people know about this thing. I
Right.
didn't realize, like, in a very tangible way at home here, you know, it was actively shifting lives. People were using it in so many ways. People were using it as a space for inspiration. They were using it to connect with other artists. They were using it to connect with businesses were using it to find other artists,
Right.
you know, to work with. And I thought it was amazing. You know, I would see, even from America, someone would take, let's say I would post, you know, a painting or something that I enjoyed. No, I would post a photograph. This one happened with a particular model that I love. His name's Uche. I posted a photograph of Uche. Someone saw that photograph and then created a painting off
Right.
of the work. And I love that. There's nothing I enjoy more than seeing more beauty created from, like, some of the beauty that we've put out into the world. So staying flexible and realizing that there's so many ways in which what I thought, I built the thing thinking it was going to be an e-commerce
thing.
platform. Yeah. And now people are using it for inspiration in this way. And then people told me, you know, you can creative direct. And I'm like, this is true. And, you know, you can actually, like, you know. And then I just had people coming and gathering. So stay flexible and listen, I think, is
Okay.
one of the things. And then the third will be have fun. Like, what's the point of doing something if you're not going to
you're not
enjoy
gonna have
yourself?
fun about it, yeah.
Like, at the core for me of doing this is I enjoy being beside creative people as they're creating things. It's really an excuse for me to hang out with some cool people.
Some really
honestly.
cool people.
Like, it has given me the opportunity to be in the room with some, like, amazing folks doing some things that will just, you know, like, blow your mind when you see it come out in the world later. And I love being a part of that creative process and seeing things come from scratch and, you know, seeing things come from an idea and seeing it come to life. So have fun. So for me, I found a way to have fun by just bringing people together that I enjoy spending time with. And now we're trying to see how we can make some more money while we do it. So
Well, that one too is
one
important
is
because
not
you got to
bad.
keep the community going. You got to,
Exactly.
you know, keep evolving for the community as well, and it does take money after a while.
Yeah.
So the three lessons you mentioned was if you build it, they will come. You never know what it will become, and have fun while you're doing it.
Exactly.
So you know from experience with the engagement of the community how much the guys who are members of the community love, you know, or take advantage of the membership. What would you say to other photographers who may not even be in any community? Forget that they are not in your community, but they may not be in any community. What would you say to them is so important about joining a community of people that share the same creative values, maybe not necessarily the same genre, but at least share the same creative values and vision that you do?
Ooh. So, you know, it's funny you say this because in moving back home, I've actually actively started the creative collective, so Osengwa Creative Collective. And it happened because there were artists were constantly coming, gravitating towards me, and we would have conversation, and it would start with one thing, it would lead to another, and then I say, you know what, let's hang out in a more formalized way. So now, you know, I have a collective of artists who all express in different ways, and it's funny because in speaking with each of them, they're so used to working in silos.
Yes.
Each person just kind of does their own thing, and, you know, is used to being alone, but every time we come together, it's so magical. They're so excited. When they walk away, they feel so inspired, and it's because you get to share ideas with people who think differently from you. And there might be a through thread in terms of all of these guys that I work with. You know, play is very central to everyone's
Yeah.
work. Play is important to all of us. And it's a way in which we create. We create from joy, we create from experimentation, we
Yeah.
create from a playful place. So that has been, you know, a shared value. We also, you know, really respect each other's form of creation. We respect and understand that everybody brings something of value to the experience, and respect is important, I think, as
Yeah.
well. So I would say joining creative spaces allows you to just diversify your thought base,
Right.
diversify your creative base. It gives you another jump off point. It gives you someone else to critique your work. It gives you someone else to add a sprinkle of magic that you may not have thought of. And I would actually absolutely encourage people to just go out and find that one person who you might share an idea with. And you can start from the fringes, you can start from the edge. So with Osengwa, a lot of people just follow the page and then they see the work. And then we may have, an open house, or we may have, an event, and they'll come and then they'll share some
And they get
ideas.
involved.
Exactly. And then you meet someone else that's magical in that moment, and it's like, oh, there's kindred spirits here. Wow, I didn't realize that, this
Yeah.
was possible. And the work always evolves into something that just extends beyond the initial thought process, the initial thought flow. And yeah, collaboration is a beautiful thing if you allow it happen in an honest way and
In
if
an
there's
honest way.
respect. Yeah.
That's true. Do you find even within the community, or from your experience with engaging and talking to different creatives, and I'm speaking from a space from a Nigerian perspective now, do you find that within the creative community in Nigeria, they will find it easier, or they'll be more comfortable collaborating with a creative from a different country as opposed to a creative that is in the same space that they're in Nigeria? Do you find that happens?
Yeah, there's definitely interest in working with international creatives because it gives you more reach and it gives you, there's the perception of more opportunity, and it's true to an extent, right? And working with creatives who are in the space, there's also the worry of competition and,
Yes.
theft of IP and theft because
Yes.
you share an idea and it has legs and it moves.
Yeah.
So I know that this is definitely something that we struggled with. But again, I try to create a safe space so that people understand that even if you may be standing next to somebody who does something similar to you, the idea is to collaborate and come up with something new together.
Yes.
And that new thing has life of its own. So it's finding ways to create safety in the collaborative space, I think, is really important. And I get it and I understand. And you're right. I find that there is some hesitance.
Preference.
Yeah, and there's a
Preference for someone else outside because you believe that, I'm safe. I'm safer with
Yeah.
them.
Plus, also, you're bringing a new perspective. If you collaborate with,
Yes.
because, for example, we had an artist who is a French musician. His name is Fawn. He's a sweetheart. He was releasing he was working on the release of his music project that came out this year, his EP. And, he found me through the platform, through Osengwa, and reached out with the intention to come to Nigeria. We spent several months going back and forth on this project, and then he came, and we got a chance to work with him and a bunch of Nigerian creatives to work on the visual direction for his project. We did some we did a photo shoot and had several. We did the cover for his album and some of his press and PR material as well. And it was amazing to be able to see that cross-cultural collaboration,
Right.
because it did allow for exchange of ideas, exchange of cultural identity in a way that you might not naturally see. So I absolutely desire and encourage, more international collaboration in that way. It was beautiful to have someone come from outside and come here. That was very important to me, that he got a chance to actually experience us in a raw in the raw
sense of it.
So everything
yeah.
that we created was also very authentic. Nothing was made in a way that felt like it was appropriated or untrue.
Yeah.
And that was
or AI generated.
exactly, and that was very, very important to him as well.
Yeah.
That the work was authentic in how it was created. So where there's the opportunity to collaborate internationally that allows for truth, I'm always
there for it.
I'm always there for it.
So working with photographers and staying with the photography industry, but then you've also got this collective of different artists and creative people within this space. Like, how do you, how many other ways or how many other interesting ways that people may not even be thinking about that they can combine their photography skills or their love for photography with a different version or aspect of art itself, or even the creative space itself, that can, either enhance or maybe even take them in a completely different direction that they weren't even thinking about before?
Oh man, that's a tough one because also all the artists I know they're multi potentialites, so they all express in different ways. So I have an artist, he's fantastic. His name's Ruby Okoro. He's a photographer, beautiful work. You know, he works in commercial space. He shoots a lot of music artists. In fact, he was the one who worked with me on the project for fun.
Okay.
But he also is a sound. He works on sound design and he does set design and installation. So ultimately, what it is for me, I see with the creative in that way is that it's the gift of creativity has the potential to be expressed in multiple different forms. So you may focus on photography, and there are certain skill sets that make you a really skilled photographer. But those skill sets I feel are transferable in other ways as well.
In other ways,
whether it's design because you have an eye and you know how to see a line, and it can be marketing and material design, graphics exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say explore, experiment, play with colors, for example. First of all, play. That's like the baseline. So if you want to try something new, you want to explore how you can evolve your craft, play. That's where it starts from. Experiment with something and see what that leads to, and find someone who's already doing the thing you want to experiment with. And ask a question. It doesn't even have, it's not that deep. It doesn't have to be overly
it doesn't have to be
thought of.
mentorship. Just
doesn't
how do I do this?
Yeah, or I saw you do this and I like the way you did this. Can you please walk me through this process if you're open to sharing? And it will surprise you how many creatives are really open to sitting and just talking with you about what they do because they love what they do.
Because they love what they
so
do. It's
they're
true.
open to sharing and they're open to welcoming you into your process, especially if it's something that you can also contribute to their creative process.
Right.
It becomes a beautiful exchange. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. That's interesting. I'm hoping that we can do things together, between Sony and the platform, because we are so much invested in creating in the creative community. We're invested in engaging the community, but in a way that is also beneficial to them as well. And as I said before, we're invested in impact as well. And so I think that it will be a really great marriage between both platforms. And I think, definitely should have a conversation, which we are going to have a conversation about anyways, and see what we can do. So I'm really, really excited about that. I really, really am. Final question is, what makes you alpha?
What makes me alpha?
Yes.
Ooh. Aside from the fact that I am an AKA, so I am actually a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Skiwi to my sorors, Skiwi. But what makes me alpha? My intense pursuit of joy. I find that my journey has really been absolutely driven by an intense pursuit of joy. And the joy comes from the creative process that seeking depth in participation in the creative process, for example. Joy comes from being with family and being at home, and I come from a very creative family. So again, I get to experience joy by seeking connection with my family and working with them towards creativity. Joy comes from, I'm constantly moving towards those core things.
Yeah.
So what makes me alpha, I think, is my intense
Pursuit.
approach towards joy. Yeah. And it leaves my heart open towards connecting with others.
Yeah.
And seeing where their source of joy is as well, and how you can fan that flame. Because, what else is there?
What else is
Why
there?
are we here if we're not going to sit in some joy?
Yeah,
So,
totally hear that. Well, thank you so much, Seju, for joining me on the podcast. I look forward to having more conversations. I look forward to working with you. I'm really, really glad that I met you. I'm really glad.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching, and I'll see you definitely in the next episode. Bye-bye.